Huzzah! I return, as does our lovely Oolong character here. Good vibes, everybody. We're going to crack on with part 3 of our little adventure here. I have opted to turn off the dynamic HUD to make things a little perhaps simpler for your viewing experience. When I'm talking about things on the HUD, they won't fade out halfway through the conversation. So let me know in the comments if that helps. Also, if you hold down the tab key and then right click, you can access the emotes. I'd forgotten to mention this previously, so there you go. Now you don't have to point that out in the comments. All right, let's crack on, shall we? We've reached the point where we need a touch of civilization, lessons in cartography, climb to high ground, and fire a survey probe. We have fabricated the probe launcher. Here it is. We'll put that in that slot there. We have a couple of survey probes on us. If we take out the launcher, it will automatically load one up. Let's go climb. And actually first, let's have a little drink of water before we go anywhere. Get ourselves all tippy-top. We can see here when we look in the system that all that blood we had deposited previously has processed into water, so we have a nice little reserve going on here. In addition, we had a little bit of blood left over, so that's that deposited. We processed a whole bunch of copper, so that will serve us well as we go through our next steps. Let's go now. Unfortunately, it's daylight. If we press T, we can see in the top right hand corner that we've still got a fair ways to go until darkness. So we're going to do this climbing up. Now, what I'm going to try and do is to give you some, again, beginner advice. See if I can follow my own advice. I'm going to clamber over to the shaded side of the rock and then climb. That should give us a better opportunity to make it up there without being scorched. We're going to fire off our survey probe. The first instance of this challenge, there will be later ones. Well, one more that it kind of teaches you to do, and then you're kind of on your own to learn to survey. But keep this in mind, because you don't do it that often in the game, but it is quite important. So this is what will allow us to clear the fog of war for certain areas, and therefore be able to see what's around, know where to go next, and that kind of thing. I'm going to see if this is high enough. It is. Now, the very first one of these, you don't have to climb all that high, thankfully. A probe is up in the sky. You can see it scanning there with this nice animation and sound. It tells you in how many seconds the survey will complete. Important is just kind of stand where you are. This is why I sort out some shade. Stay where you are. Don't drop down. If you drop down too far, the probe will fail, and you'll have to launch another one.
Trade post. Come and find me there. Just remember to be careful crossing the sands. Move from rocky ground to rocky ground. Learn how far you can move on sand before the worm comes. And remember, look both ways before you cross the desert.
Oh, yes. All right. Trade posts. At trade posts, you can find merchants for buying and selling, a contract board with employment opportunities, ornithopter pilots willing to transport you elsewhere, and a convenient shelter from storms. It's almost as if we'd experienced pretty much all of that already. So I'm going to drop down here. We're going to stay close to the lip so that we can cling on to it if we need to. Because we don't yet have a suspensor belt, which will be an exciting piece of equipment that we will get familiar with soon. TM. There we go. We made it down without too much trouble. Very good. We did build that second probe, so we have that loaded up as ammo to reload in the thingy bob, so he's not taking up an extra pocket space for us. We have all these makeshift items here. You can do two things. You can put that in a storage box and recycle it later on once we get access to a recycler. But probably what I would do with that stuff for now is just take it outside and just litter. Don't worry about it. Just litter. Sometimes there's a little bug that happens when you're trying to click on an item, highlight it, and then press X to drop it. That it doesn't, like this one, it doesn't highlight. So, oh, I double clicked it by accident and put it on. So just if that happens, just click on another item, go back to it, and X. There you go. Strange little bug. Easy workaround, thankfully. Let's get in out of the sun again for a moment. Okay. So it is now telling us to go to Griffin's Reach trade post. We went there coincidentally because it just happened to be on our way. So we've already seen it, but we haven't interacted with any of the stuff. We did pick up that other coincidental quest that we found, which asks us to gather 100 salvage metal and bring it to them. So, oh, we just happen to have 100 salvage metal here in our pocket. In fact, you know what? I'm going to leave that there because we might need that for building purposes and that. And there's plenty of metal around here that we can just go and pick up. So we'll get our little cutter thing out. Always grabbing the fiber. Let's go over here. There was plenty of metal over on in this little area over here. We'll grab some extra metal and then we'll run up the hill. So conveniently, it's telling us on our journey to go to Griffin's Reach. And would you believe it? We happen to set our base up just within a little hop and a skip over to that place. So again, now you can see the benefit. Plus, again, it's your sort of hub for most of your missions down in this area. So you're going to be you're going to have to be going back and forth over there as it is. Let's see, how much metal did we get so far? 98? Are you kidding me? 2 pieces missing. Come on. That's a fuel cell. There used to be some out the front of the door there. That's another fuel cell. Alright, hopefully we'll find some more metal on the way up here. Now, what we could do is check our map, zoom in, and have a look around and see if there's any scrap metal around. Salvage metal, there you go. There's some that way. Also, as I mentioned, look, the fog of war has now lifted for the whole of Hagga Basin South. That's this region here with this little line, the edge of this region. So we're in Hagga Basin South, the starter area, and all the fog of war has been removed now. So when we zoom in, we can now see, for example, look, there's loads of these different caves and things that we can go to get the microfibers when we need them, etc. So you can really start plotting out your little adventure and go off doing things. There's plenty of these little 3 house symbols where you've got intel to pick up. That again, that's your research points needed for unlocking your tech tree items. So definitely worth visiting and picking those up. And just generally, you can go around an adventure. I mean, personally, I adore this world. I think it's fantastic. It's really immersive. You really feel like you're out here in the desert, whether that's a good thing for you or not. And yeah, it's just such a pleasure to play in this world, I find. Where is that metal? I think it's down the hill a bit, and it seems... Oh, you know what it was? There was that other bit down the middle that we missed. Let's go back and get it. It's no bother. Is this... Oh, there's some here. Oh, would you believe it? A couple of spare pieces of metal. There's a big chunk here as well. Got it. Oopsie. Not very good with my aim yet. Not enough of that coffee yet, Grumbles. Alright, here we go. So, we're going to run up to Griffin's Reach. And we're going to talk to some of the folks up here. We'll have a brief look at the sort of core items of interest, as it were. Features of interest like trading and things like that. But I'm not going to go through all of the dialogue options at this point. We'll do a couple, so you get a bit of a flavour for it. But again, I'm trying to balance this between guiding you a little without spoiling too many of the things.
Alas, Offworlder, it seems my fame precedes me even here.
He's had to run.
At the arse end of the Hagga Basin. Your Emperor's lackey, Count Fenring, has put an obscene bounty on my head.
Oh dear.
And while I'm flattered to be his great boogeyman, the added attention is making life complicated.
Oh, I could imagine.
Take a look around. There's a contract on the board that might interest you. But be careful. Civilized men are not to be trusted.
All right, so here we are. This is the contract board in question. So let's go over here and interact with that. Salvage junket, salvage. So this is the one where we had to pick up 100 pieces of salvage metal. we can now deliver items. This will open up another, and you'll become very familiar with this with the contracts. Here's our backpack. Here's what we're delivering. Here's the statement of what the contract requires. You can just double click that and it will automatically put in the right amount that you're delivering. Click deliver and hey presto, done. Now these are new contracts available. This one is the bounty on Xantara's head. That's what our friend who rescued us from the crashed prison ship, or the one that he took down with a rocket. This is the 1 million Solari reward. We're going to pick that up anyway. Scrap metal, copper required. So here's another simple quest to fulfill. Deliver 40 copper ore to Griffin's trade post, and then contact the issuer. We go to deliver items. You'll see that currently we have no copper, so we're going to have to go and harvest some. It's only 40 pieces we need, so it shouldn't take too long. There we go. Deliver the required. So this is your gentle introduction, your simple introduction into the world of contracts, your side quests as it were. We can also press J for our journey, as we showed earlier. These are your main quests. Then you can go to your side quests here, or your contracts. Here you can change which one is being tracked by pressing T or clicking the track button there. We will just track that one for now because that's going to be easier. This one here is to kill Xantara, basically the guy that saved us from the shipwreck that he caused. But more on that later on. So let's just track this copper mission for now. There's also this chappie to talk to, very worthwhile. Let's go and fulfill our contract first. There should be some copper not far from here, as I recall. Again, this is a very gentle, you know, kind of, you're still very much in tutorial mode for most of this Hagga Basin south, and a little bit beyond if you're following the journey steps. But of course, if you've chosen to just unlock and go for it, still fairly straightforward. You can see what we talked about in part 2, where we talked about the catch pocket filling up with water over time. You can see that beginning to fill up the blue bar to the first level of the catch pocket. And again, if we press F, we drink that, and you see that water then taken on board into our main water level. Not quite enough to get us back over the level we require. Okay, so that one node there, not far from the reach, was 40 with the cut array. The very basic, the first one that we get, and we're able to pick up a couple of loose ones on the floor. That's one thing that's important as well to note, maybe something to remember for later on. As you progress through the game, you'll get different levels of this cut array device that's able to cut different resources, such as iron and carbon ore and things like that. Sometimes you don't have all of the pieces necessary to maybe build that, to craft those devices. You can pick up loose bits of those ores that you're not able to cut, or should you have an accident, for example, and you haven't got your device on you, or it breaks, then you can pick up loose pieces of it around all of those nodes. So every one of the nodes that I've seen so far in the game usually has 2 or 3 loose pieces sitting around it on the floor. You'd be surprised you can quickly gather up the basics to get yourself going on the next tier of metals without necessarily having the cut array available. Okay, scrap metal required, deliver items, double click there, puts 40 in the box, deliver, and then it says contact issuer. So we do that. Finally, I've waited weeks for that copper. And there we go. No more contracts available at this time. Okay. The other thing that I learned from a fellow player and guild member on our official public server playthrough that I hadn't noticed for myself is that when you have a contract issuer point in your contracts here, you are actually able to open it up within your journey and your contracts tab. Come down here, and if it's reached the point where it's contract issuer, obviously this is complete so we can't do it, this will be highlighted and available, and you can actually press spacebar or click on contract issuer to complete the mission and possibly collect rewards if there are any on offer for that mission step that you're following. One important side note on that, if your inventory is full, and trust me, at least for me that happens a lot, if your inventory is full at that point, the items that you collect will be placed on the floor in a box beneath you. And you will have to do some inventory juggling in order to work out what you want to trash to pick up your rewards. So be very careful with that one, or you'll end up throwing stuff away that you didn't mean to. Okay, buy a unique Hagga Liturgon. In other words, water bottle, water canteen. We come over here. This symbol here is your Solari symbol, so trading is on offer. And we talk to this chappy here.
Hey, stop. I know the face of every sand-sucking bandit, scavenger, and merc from here to Harko, and I don't recognize you. So perhaps you'll give us the courtesy of who you are? And while you're at it, why our airspace is crawling with Sandukar.
All right, so if you remember back to our character creation in part 1, one of the aspects that we took gave us the dialogue option deception. So we can try to deceive this guy. There's no real big benefit to this at this point, but I'm sure that might come into play much later in the story as a more important element. So we can deceive. If you remember everyone, you must know my cousin Sal Condon. Or just tell him about the prison transport and your escape. Entirely up to you. You can say nothing. We'll go with this one since it's our character option.
Sal, how's he doing?
He took a scattergun shot to the face about a month back, but he's still prettier than you. Wow.
That's a good one.
Feisty.
Welcome to Griffin's Reach, cousin of Sal. The rules are simple. Pay up front, don't cause trouble, or we'll waste you. Good?
Good.
Name's Mir. I do the trading and the talking. My silent partner here does the fighting. And there's the contract board in the corner if you need work.
All right. So, again, these are lots of dialogue options. I would encourage you to play through them. If you're so inclined, you'll pick up little bits of lore about what's going on in this area and so forth. For now, though, I will leave that up to your discretion. It's your story. Let's have a look at the trade board. So this is what this guy has to offer. And as you progress through the areas, obviously, you will find things that are a little bit more exotic. Nevertheless, even from here, there are certain things in here that could be very beneficial and save you a lot of time if you prefer to pick some of these things up if you're not so keen on the combat, or just, you know, it's been a busy day, you only got an hour to play or something and you need a couple of items. Come and have a look here. You can pick up some of these microwave sandwich fabrics, the EMF generator, particle capacitors, all these kind of things that are a little bit more exotic, a little bit harder to get a hold of necessarily. Just come along and grab them straight from the shop. You can also buy a cup of water for 100 Solari. That's kind of cool. You can see that we're basically doing a very slow tutorial step by step, and we've already managed to rack up nearly 5,000 Solari. So trust me when I say money isn't really a too much of a problem in this game. There'll always be something where it's like, oh, I need another 20,000 or whatever, but you will, as the game progresses, the scale of the money you pick up on the missions also does too, so it adds up real quick. You'll notice here that there's also a time until restock, so some of these items will have a limited number that the vendor has available for you to purchase, like for example here, mechanical parts 50. That refreshes then based on that timer. In this case, two and a half hours, just under. Okay, we're going to do as it requested and pick up a Hagga Liturgon Mark 1 schematic. Let's buy, you know what, I'm going to recommend that you pick up 2 of these. Each schematic is like a permit to, it's an imperial permit and allows you to craft 1 per. So the game asks you to buy 1. I recommend getting 2 because this special schematic holds 50% more water than the basic one that you can unlock in the tech tree. So pick up a contract scrap metal wrecking crew from the contract board. Okay, right to the contract board. Open that, scrap metal. Reach the wreck of the Alcyon. Acquire Holtzman amplifier × 1, deliver Holtzman amplifier × 1, and then contact the issuer. We will take that contract.
You're going to find, Offworlder, that Arrakis is a planet of unique
Very
opportunity. No former prisoner would ever have access to the military technology of the great houses. But with the war, chaos reigns. Ships crash and are shot down, sometimes spilling military-grade materials onto the sands. The Fremen know the ways of the desert and how to do a lot with very little. The Imperium, on the other hand, have infinite resources and the production capacity of countless worlds. Plunder them, off-worlder. There is a shipwreck near here. Slip inside and claim your share of the spoils.
All right. So shipwrecks are massive structures often visible from afar due to their sheer size. A green map marker indicates that components needed to create weapons and armors can be found in these locations. Dismiss that. If we bring up our map and we scroll across, we will see here's the shipwreck. Now, they say green. I would argue that that's kind of cyan, like a light blue, but you know, who knows? And some people can't see colors the same way. So, you know, it is what it is, but that's the shipwreck there. You can see it by the symbol. This is the wreck of the Alcyon. This is also where our contract mission is taking us. There will be other ships that you will find during the course of the game. Some of them are more dangerous than others, and a lot of them turn into PvP zones. So even though generally you're in a PvE scenario, unless your private server that you're playing on has opted to choose differently, so just be mindful of the fact that you could be putting yourself very much in harm's way for other players. I do believe that this first one remains PvE, just to introduce the basic concept to us as players. But yes, keep that in mind. You will get a clear warning at the top of the screen when you're changing zones, like we had going into the trade post where you can't pull out any kind of weapons or anything. And it will go red to advise you that you're entering a PvP zone if that's the case. Nothing that we need to worry about at this stage though. What I'm going to do now, before we start making our way to the shipwreck, which I think you can see the lights of just over there in the distance, it's quite a long way, 1,300 meters on foot. I'm going to go back to our little cabin here, and I'm going to see whether we can, well, one, learn the schematic for this Lita-John that we just picked up, use the 2 permits, and 2, see if we can actually fabricate them. I do not know if we're going to have all the pieces we need, but yeah, let's have a go. That hasn't despawned yet, wherever the old clothing was. That was funny. Okay, so open your inventory with I, go over your schematic, hold your F key to learn it. That will give you the permit to make one of them. We will learn this other one as well. That way we've got 2 that we're permitted to make. We'll come to the Fabricator, look underwater, and then we will see we need spice infused, because it's a special item. So we need spice infused copper dust, which you can usually get if you hover over these items that you're missing. They will tell you where you can kind of harvest them or find them. Truly unique items often rely on spice-infused metal to enhance their qualities. Such materials are jealously hoarded by most powerful groups, locked away in their most secure containers. So this means it's a bit cryptic, but essentially you'll be finding those in like mini dungeons and things like that. I had neglected to think of that. So anyway, we learned the schematics. The good thing there is the permits schematics that we learned, they're sort of embedded with us. We have the rights for those. If we just kept those in our pocket and we went out adventuring, should we fall, we potentially would lose those. Oopsie, that's not what I meant to do. All right, let's drink some water so we're as topped up as we can be. We also have the benefit of traveling at night, and we have to remember to actually, let's just take this person out here, shall we? We have to also heed the warning of not crossing over too much sand, too wide of a distance. All right, down you go. That's actually leveled us up. That was convenient, wasn't it? All right, let's grab the blood here, put that in our blood processing machine. Keep in mind that processing the blood does take quite a long time. We get some free money, some batteries, and a little bit of metal while we're here. Put that back in our house, and then we can be on our merry way. So the reason I'm doing a bit of back and forth is because the blood processing to water does take a little bit of time. So it's worth just keeping that topped up so that in a pinch you've always got something there to rely on. Okay, let's go. So the path is across this sand here. then hopping from rock to rock. So from here to here to here. What we'll do is we're not going to go into the Imperial testing station at this point. We'll get a quest for that later on. But we'll probably take out like the scavenger camp. We might go to the intel over here. And then we'll make our way to the ship. Try not to get full pockets as we go. Alright. In fact, you know what? Let's empty our pockets because I know what I'm like. I'm an accidental hoarder. One thing you can also do is, if we look in this container, it contains some granite stone, copper, fiber, fuel cells and so forth. If we go up to it and just tap F, it will quick deposit everything from our pockets up to the limit of what the container can hold, and put that all away for us auto-magically, so that we don't have to go in and do drag and drops with everything. It's also put all our money away safely, so that again, if we perish, we won't lose that 4,000 Solari. Quite convenient. Alright, let's go. So we want to, I think we can make this stretch here probably without getting eaten by a worm. Let's see, shall we? Ah, the sun is coming up. Unfortunate. Alright, no worm sign here. No vibrations, no risk. Let's take out this little camp up here. Get some more money and some more bits and bobs.
Someone's here.
Oh, hello. I got no stamina left to use my Bene Gesserit skill because I exhausted myself. So we'll get you. Oh, hello. Sneaky move. Okay, you're down. Very good. Now, Mr. Shooty Bang Bang. What if I shot you in the head? There we go. You didn't like that, did you? Alright, here we go. This is classic side questing. Now, we're not going to waste the opportunity to get some more blood. We're also going to pick up some light darts in parallel. That's another little tip. Saves you like a few seconds here and there. Not that important, but while you're gathering the blood with the animation from with the exsanguinator, if they have loot on them, you can also hold down E while you're over their body and just take that loot while you're at it. Alright, let's use a bandage. Always making sure that we've got a few on us. We got 3. That's like the absolute minimum that I typically go into these little battle scenarios with. We can grab some more fiber on our way to make some more. And obviously, as we progress, we have the opportunity to keep some slightly better armor on us and things like that. Typically, I would wear my still suit most of the time in the game, because the advantage of having that little reservoir of water is absolutely huge. Here's the Imperial testing station, but we're going to cross that particular little challenge where we get to it. Let's do a little sprint here to get into the shade. There we go. We'll cross that one when we get the mission. Alright, let's trying to see where I can keep myself out of the shade, or out of the sun rather. Grab a bit more of that. We might make some more heal kits as we go. Our sprint is ready again, so we're good. So again, we are traversing using, you know what, make 11? That's a lot. Here we go, craft them out. Let's just make 6. We're going to end up making them all anyway, but it's fine. The other thing we could use some for would be to make some additional blood sacks, if we happen to take out enough people. So here we go. There's a little bit, there's an intel place here. So I think it would be prudent for us to go and gather this intelligence. Have some extra skill points we can utilize. Here we go. It's one of these. Let's see. As long as we don't get our butts whooped too badly. Here we go.
Someone's here.
Come over here, please. I'd rather fight you on my own terms. Alright, that's one down. Nice. Getting hit a few times there, so I'm being a bit reckless. But, you know, just showing you how much fun it can be to take all these people on. Let's get a little bandage on while they make their way around the corner. I have run out of ammo. That's not good. So it's swordplay, which in any case is my preferred modus operandi. Ooh, there's a lot of them. Alright, you can sneak in here, grab some more stuff. We now have some more ammo. That's great. They will come and move around the base and look for you, so don't think you're entirely safe just by hunkering down in one particular spot. Uh-oh, there we go. And that's a shielded person, so we're going to need to take care of them. Oh, 3! Uh-oh, this is a bad move. Do not do what I'm doing. I'm being very silly. I'm taking far too much risk. Let's get ourselves bandaged up, remembering that they're going to follow us. So, dodge. Slap, slap. You're wearing a shield, so we need to do the slow attack. There we go. Got him. Have you got any bandages on you? No. All right. Let's get some more blood. All right. Bandage up again. Okay. That was very, very foolish. I do tend to do that sometimes. I prefer the close combat to the ranged, generally speaking, but things can be achieved as long as they're not shielded. You can have a good go at them. All right, there's the one. And yeah, there's way better weapons that we're going to get access to. It won't take too long. Sometimes these enemies might even drop something of use for us. Got it. All right. We're generally a lot sturdier than them. Again, you could also be wearing some light armor. We'll get into that soon, TM. Backstab is also a mechanic, so be sure to sneak behind your opponents when you get the opportunity and stab them in the back. This is a deadly planet. There's no point in being shy about stabbing people in the back. Alright, there we go. Keep an eye out for these little containers. Extra bandages. I told you we'd end up making all those bandages in the end. We're getting... we've only got 6 left now. Oh, hello. Use my benegesserit skill to calm you down. Stab you in the stomach. Couple of 3 times. Job done. There's one up above us, so let's go take him out. Wait. Stop it. Stop it. Imagine being that fella, knowing you're in trouble, you're about to get stabbed. Sometimes they'll switch it up and go melee or ranged, but a lot of the times those ones early doors don't do that. Here's an interactive recording. We'll listen to that recording as we continue to scout the area. Remember, we're looking for that green glowing intel band thing.
Of course, that's only a problem if you
Looks like we found it. It's hidden behind here in the corner. Look at this. Sneaky. There we go. 3 intel points for us. So again, that's unlocking more tech tree opportunities. Grab some more blood. There we go. Luckily, this is why I always say have 2 or 3 of these blood sacks per level on you. Keep an eye out for all these boxes, because that's where you're going to get all your money and all your fancy loot, if there is any. You can go back and replay the messages. Here's a bit of machinery we can get some fuel cells from. Check outside. Oh, there we go. Little sneaky box there with some more... So don't be afraid to look around. My advice is typically deal with the enemies first, obviously. Give yourself that moment of peace and quiet, and then have a look around. Always worth checking up and down all over the place. I certainly haven't memorized all of these, but several of them will have a box that might not have been quite so obvious when you first arrived. So it's worth looking around the place. Alright, we get some more blood here. Yep. Grab those darts. Oh, and here we go. Just as I was saying. Another secret box here. So we've made already 406 Solari from visiting one little camp in this place already. So coming back in the money. Right, onwards to our quest, which is 491 meters to the east. Let's go. There's another camp over there. We've got some another level up, I believe, so it's probably worth us having a quick look. See, there's the shipwreck. You can see it already in the distance. That's pretty cool. Excuse me, would you come over here so I could stab you? Oh, that didn't last so long that time. There we go. Never mind. Not quite sure if he had a good idea there to stand on top of his campfire. Okay, so one thing we can do here as well, whilst I think of it, is we can grab this guy's blood. But we could also, there's lots of scrap metal here. So why don't we grab that scrap metal, go into our menu, and make some more light darts, because we seem to be running low on these. So I'm going to create another 3 batches of those. That's going to give us a ton more. Off we go. Oh, one other thing that I think I spoke about, but I didn't show you guys yet. If you want to hide your hat, your headwear, come in here, and actually there's other tips I can give you here. Each of these items here, or in general, you can hover over and you can press U to customize. And you have different uniforms. We have one Sardaukar, that's for the deluxe pre-ordered edition, I guess, that Funcom kindly gave me. Then you have these different swatches, as they're called, color schemes. You have a Chom one, so the mining company, quite nice. You have this Mauler swatch, more blues, more tradies direction. You have the sunset dye, which is darker, pretty cool looking. I think I might go with this one. Looks kind of fitting for my character. But in here also you can where are we? If we go to our headpiece, like that, scavenger seal suit, you can also put on different swatches and things if you have them. But you can hit this one here to turn off any of the colorings and things on them. But then in the settings menu, I believe it is, under, is it gameplay? At the bottom, no, somewhere in the middle. Show helmet, yes or no. So that's your toggle. So settings, gameplay, show helmet, no. I prefer to be able to have my character, because we spent, you know, some time putting them together. I just prefer to be able to look and see them like that. You might prefer to wear the headgear and the armor as you progress through the game. At least now you know where the toggle is. Alright, let's go. Let's grab a bit more fiber, make a couple more bandages before we get to what will no doubt be a more difficult fight. Make a bunch of those. There we go. Alright, we've got a bit more of a stretch of sand here. So we're going to give it another Bindu sprint. There we go. No worm signs, thankfully. Now, here you can see this lady brandishing a sort of a sword, a blade. So she's going to be more dangerous. We're going to point at her. We're going to compel her to come over here. And then we're going to stab her. There we go. And now we're just dealing with the guy with the pistol. But again, I would probably choose to just charge them and stab them. You can interrupt their fire and then hold down left click, stab up a little bit deeper blade cut. There we go. Get some more money. Come and get some more blood. And now we've reached the point where it says there on the right hand side of the screen, no compatible container. So we can't collect any more blood. If we go to our crafting menu, we will see we need a bit of salvage metal, 5, and 25 plant fiber. I'm going to make another blood sack in my pocket. And once that's done, I'm going to gather some more blood. Here is the kind of mantra that I follow and remind myself of in the game. Blood is water. Water is life. And life leads us to the spice. You can think up your own, discard it, don't worry about it. But that's the way I kind of remind myself. Obviously, as I enjoy role-playing, playing different characters on here, that's the way I get it to sink into my adult brain. Blood is water. Water is life. Life leads to the spice. Life leads to spice. Okay, here we go. We can again use our mini compass at the top of the screen, following the direction. So 100 meters. We are nearing this giant ship. Now, there are multiple entry points on this ship. There's a couple of guards at the front, but you can also go up onto the roof of the ship and drop down. I'm just going to go in the front, and we're going to have a little bit of a fight. I'm going to use a healing bandage first to make sure I'm at full health. I'm also going to press F a couple of times to give myself the best possible amount of stamina.
Identify yourself.
And water. We're going to get this person here to come and hang out with us. That's one down. That's two down. There's another guard over there. Have it. Thankfully, in these areas, their weapons are not particularly strong. But you've already seen how much trouble I got myself into as well when you take 2 or 3 of them at once. So don't be too gung-ho. You can be a little bit brave, but you don't have to get too carried away. Okay, we've already used up the 3 blood gatherings from that the small blood packs that we've got. So I'm not going to make any more for now. We've got plenty. We need some pocket space for what we're going to gather in this place as well. I'm going to compel this person to come over here, and then I'm going to stab them, using them for a little bit of cover from this guy. It's always advisable to try and take, obviously, these guys out as quickly as possible. If you see, I saw another lady running in that's a blade wielder. So typically you want to try and deal with these as quickly as possible in small numbers before they start ganging up on you. Never be afraid to do as I've been doing. Just to reposition, run away a little bit, get around a corner. Because, again, they might not be individually that strong, but they, trust me, when they gang up on you, you know about it. See, we already took like 1/3 of our health damage. Actually, before I go any further, let's have a look, because I did keep forgetting. We've got the possibility of buffing ourselves further. We have another passive that we can unlock. Self-healing. You are strongly in touch with your own nervous and immune system, able to boost any healing that you perform on yourself. So we get 12% healing buff. 100% worth investing in that. We also have this one here, voice training. Your rigorous training with the voice allows you to reduce the time between uses, 8% quicker recharge on our skills. Absolutely recommend unlocking that as well if you're going Bene Gesserit. You know what, we're just going to put a point into blade damage, extra 6% as well, since we're doing mostly melee combat. That's going to serve us well. All right, onwards with our journey. So here we've got another one of these doors that you can cut at. We recognize that from the tutorial. Let's grab some loot, some extra darts, nice. And here a loot box. Oh, and we've picked up a better version of the gun we're using. This does 4.8 damage per shot, and this one does 7.2. So let's slot that straight in there. Load that up. Get some ammo in there. Perfect. Now we have a better gun. The loot boxes are for PvE, so if you're playing in a party of people or just there's other people around, you can all get your own individual loot, including the RNG of whatever loot is dropped from a box. So if it's got something special in it, you might get a completely different set of loot, a different weapon, a different schematic than any of your pals that you're running around with, or any other people that are in an area at the same time. So don't fear, in PvE you don't have to fight over the boxes or rush to get to the box first and that kind of thing. Everybody gets their own version of the loot. There is a recording here which we'll play.
Mayday. This is Ensign Meredith,
I've gone to this golden box here, this other loot box here, so it's worth again remembering, always look around, look for the different boxes and things that are on offer. This is leading us back to the room we were in, so we're going to go up here.
Relay that chatter! We have sustained several direct hits, and we're losing trim badly.
And we're going through the ship.
Our emergency transponder is active. Godspeed, everyone.
Here we go, more enemies. I'm here, sir. I would like a word with you. Oh, hello. Alright, we'll take her out first. Boom. He stepped back so he could use his gun on us. And you see there, I just reached the point where I'd run out of stamina and did that whole over-exaggerated lunge. That's your worst case scenario, as we've seen before. That means you're going to get yourself in all sorts of trouble. So here we go. Another box in the corner. There was an area that we could drop down into as well. I can't recall whether we need to... I think that just leads us back out where we were. Yeah, that takes us back into here. Okay. A little bit of a maze. But you have the little symbol on your compass to follow, and that generally will guide you around where you need to go. Here's another Considerate door. So another blast door that's sealed. We're needing to open those up. Here's some more bandages, typically in those little ones, or it could be some ammo. Making our way around the ship. There's some more enemies down there. Here's some more ammo. Let's use our little gun, shall we, if she's further away. Oh, here we go. We get the drop on this one. That didn't help me that much. If they're not shielded, obviously you can take them out like that with the gun. If they are shielded, your gun is almost useless unless you have a very special type of gun called a disruptor, but that's something for much later on. Okay, here we go. We're into the next room. Some loot over here in the corner. I'm trying to show you this if you want to follow it and see your way through, but also not talk through every little point so that I'm not spoiling it for you the first time you play. Okay, here's some loot, and in here we got a special... Firstly, we got the spice-infused copper dust. If you remember, we needed that to make our Liturgion before. We've also picked up a unique... I think it's called a Kinjal, or Kijal, basically a blade that is called Kalef's Drinker, and this is a fantastic weapon that's going to help us a ton in this early to mid stage transition. Another key card here to open up the door, and there we go. We have completed the shipwreck. We're now able to get out. You can see in the top left hand corner, harvest materials to upgrade your armor and weapons, get copper ore. So once you see that, you know that you've effectively completed this this part of the mission, and on to the next step. The copper ore that you can harvest, you ever see anything like that on a mission, typically it's not locked to a specific area, so there just happens to be some here, so I'll grab it. But you could go and harvest this elsewhere. You could also just go back to your base if you know you've already got 160 copper ore or more. It's basically just taking us on the next step to, as it says, upgrade our armor and weapons. And we're going to learn a little bit about armor and more advanced weaponry. Wonderful. Okay, we nearly have all the ore. I'm going to start making my way back to my base. Here we go. There's the rest of the ore there. We'll get that, and then we'll upgrade. This is something else that I really appreciate with this game, is it doesn't, at least at the early stage, it's not forcing you to go too far out of your way typically. Like, what you need is usually fairly accessible in the early game in terms of proximity to where you've just been or where the mission is. And I like that approach. It's not saying, here, now go halfway across the map. Obviously, in this case, we're going quite far along this particular region that we're in. But yeah, again, you can see it's runnable in just a few minutes, and it gets you out in the world. You have to take some risks. You have to cross some sand. You have to avoid Sardaukar patrols. You can, optionally take on some camps, or maybe they'll attack you to run past. So you're getting more experience. You're getting more skill points unlocked. You're able to pick up some additional intel. It's all bueno. It's good fun. Okay, these guys are still... Oh, no. Hush. And what you will see when we get to unlock this this new blade that we have, it's truly great. It's a huge, huge help for us. I'm wondering, I would have expected to see the worm signs a little bit more. Could be a couple of things. One, we're on a private server with low population, so it might be that we're just not seeing that the worm signs as often. Two, there have been some buggy moments, unfortunately, since launch, where sometimes the worm just goes on vacation for a bit. I don't think we're having that because I haven't seen any announcements for it, but if your worm sign and whatnot, if your adventure varies from mine, that's probably why. Nothing that I can directly control. There we go. There's another house over there because it's a private community server and there will be some other players playing on here from time to time. Maybe we'll run into the one or the other during our adventure. Who knows? This is going to be part 3 for the beginner's guide. I was kind of thinking to do part 3 and just get us this far. We maybe do a part 4, but let me know in the comments and with your thumbs ups if you'd like to see more of this, and also if you have other ideas, if you'd like to see more roleplay content, for example. I'm always keen to do that. You can also follow our much more advanced journey and adventures on our Twitch and YouTube live streams that we do Wednesdays through Sundays. Not exclusively Dune Awakening, but a significant proportion at the moment. Let's grab some more copper. I think we're going to need a fair bit of it to progress. Let's go. But yeah, so this is somebody else's base. A neat little, that's probably more the kind of style that you're going to end up going for your little starter base. You don't need to be so fancy as what I did. It's a little bit boxy, but thankfully the building pieces allow you to make a not too unattractive box. Let's put it that way. Wait, in before the comment from my community, hey, that was my box. Don't be mean about my box. Now here again we have the significant benefit of traveling at night. We have the risk of the solder car patrols, but as long as we're not too silly, we'll be okay. And the plus side being, of course, that we don't have to worry about burning up. I'm going to go in here briefly because there's a little cave system where we can gather some additional resources. The micro sandwich could be handy. We have a bit, but never hurts to have a bit more. So I'm going to just deviate into here. We're going to fight these people. There we go, one down. Wow, okay, maybe I should actually aim. You can actually crouch as well with left control to take a knee like that, and that will make you a little bit harder to hit. Clearly you can duck behind obstacles and get cover. And one of the other classes, at least the Mentat, has the ability to hide behind their own kind of barrier. Now, also while we're here, as we did earlier, I'm going to make one more blood sack. Let's use a little bit of metal and a little bit of fiber because we have more blood we can gather from these people. And again, if I can stress one point, blood is water. Water is life. Life leads to the spice. So here they have a water system up here as well. So we're going to come up there and just get some free water. Going to get some more blood as well. Wonderful. All right, and onwards. Gather some more microfiber on the way out. And it just happens to be not that far from where we live. There's the trade post. I know this spot quite well because when we started our big official run, this is where we had our first bases and got everybody to kind of congregate. At the beginning, there was a whole thing of like, oh, panic, which server are we going to go on? Which world are we on? Where are we playing? Who's going to run the guild? All this, you know, it was quite funny. All right. Good. We're nearly there. I do, as I said, I am not unhappy at not being eaten by the worm, but I would anticipate a little bit more worm action. We're definitely approaching the point where we're going to see more dangerous crossing areas and things, so that's going to become more prevalent. I have a feeling, although I don't have any specific info on it, but I feel like the worm was a little bit more active in the starter areas at the very launch, and then they got the feedback of like, holy heck. And I feel like it calmed down a little bit, but anyway. So you can see here, we're sacrificing pocket space in our inventory for carrying these extra bags of blood, but simply look how much water we're creating. And remember we spoke earlier about making a second water purifier. That's again something I would probably recommend. Although you're not going to be in this area super long, it's just going to make your life so much more comfortable. Okay, so now it says research scavenger rags, Karpov 38 and Kinjal. So here we go. Research. We have 25 intel points because we made those extra stops to pick up some more. We're going to unlock the scavenger rags. That's your first basic armor set that you can fabricate. We unlock the Kinjal. That's the Atreides blade. And Karpov 38. That's a more powerful, that's a rifle. Actually quite a good weapon for the beginner stage for sure. Okay, now it wants us to fabricate a full set of rags, a Karpov 38 and a Kinjal. So we come to our fabricator, double click the Kinjal, double click the Karpov, double click the pants, the boots, the hood, the gloves and the chest piece. Thankfully, because we did all that scavenging on the way out before and also just what we put in stores earlier, we have more than enough materials. We also have the special blade schematic that we picked up. I believe everybody gets that from the Shipwreck. Caliph Strinker, there we go. We have the spiced copper dust. We also have these additional weapons here and parts that we picked up. I'm just going to drop some of these special pieces in here. And now with that new schematic learned under the special schematics here, unique, we can see the drinker is there. And it costs us 5 copper ingots, 7 plasteel microflora fiber, and 2 spice-infused copper dust, which we have enough of. So we're going to double-click that and make Caleb's Drinker. I highly recommend this weapon for all of your blood gathering and close combat needs early game. We can also make at least one of our Liderjons, because we have thankfully enough spice-infused dust. Funnily enough, I bought that second schematic, and I don't have enough to make the second one. So probably could have saved myself 500 Solari. Alright, let's grab all the things that we've made here. Wait for that to process. Boom. Alright. We can see already we have this rifle, which does 7.6 damage, has an effective range of 48 meters, 20 in the clip, versus 39 meters for the Mauler pistol, 7.2. So not that big of an upgrade seemingly, but I feel like it's got a good punch to it. Also, this blade, we've been using the scrap metal blade for now, 5.5, attack speed 139. This has got 7.2. So definitely a good swap in there. Get rid of that terrible knife there. And then last but not least, we're going to get both the Liderjon, which we can put some water in a moment. But here, the Caleb's Drinker damages 10.9. So over 7.2, significant. The other thing it does is, when you stab people with this, it will collect blood for you and put it in your blood sacks auto-magically. Fantastic solution for blood gathering. I'm going to, funnily enough, add another box in a nice little sneaking line here. And I'm going to just put some of this spare equipment in here. Scrap knife we can probably just pretty much throw away, but anyway. Okay, and now we've made ourselves a set of armor. If we look at the values, the still suit gives us heat protection 0.3 on each of the pieces, and armor value of 8, 28 for the body, 11 for the hood. Here we've got armor value 24 for the hood as an example, 24 for the, so significantly more armor from these pieces. Dash stamina cost minus 3% as well, so good for your combat. Some blade mitigation, 6% damage, but zero, absolutely no heat protection. So what you want to do is either do what I mostly do, which is constantly just wear my oh, we ran out of plasteel microflora fiber for the chest piece. Wow, okay, that's unfortunate. Which we can get from shipwrecks. How did we end up with not enough to make the full uniform? That's interesting. That's actually kind of annoying because I don't have enough pieces to fully make that uniform. But anyway, that was our next task. So we're going to have to, I tell you what we'll do. We'll go up to the trade place and we'll trade for it. Yeah, so what I would recommend people doing is have your set of armor on you, your 5 pieces, wear your still suit for your traveling portion and whatnot, and then put your armor on when you enter like a dungeon or a more dangerous area. Like we want to take out one of those intel camps, especially if you're finding the combat a little bit hard, always getting a bit beaten up and stuff. Put that other stuff on. It does make a big difference. And then just put your still suit back on again once you've gotten rid of all your enemies, because again, the water is so precious and so valuable that you really can't beat having your still suit on most of the time just for that extra reserve. Like now, I can just press F in here, make sure my water stays above that first line, got my extra bunch of stamina bonus, everything's good. Okay, we're going to go to the trader, and we needed the plasteel microflora. Like we're going to look down the list here, and I forgot to pick up my money. He's selling it for 750 each, and I left all my money. All right, we'll do an edit of this a few moments later. Let's try that again. Hello there. I definitely haven't turned up with empty pockets.
Coming back like this, I'll have to stop calling you stranger.
Yes,
stranger.
Indeed. Okay, so we need this stuff. You'd think I would have taken note of how much we needed of it. What we can do actually is we can check in our research. We can go to the combat section. We can hover over the scavenge rags, click on it. On the right hand side, you can hover over each item and you can see the materials required. You can also press the left alt key to look at the statistics of the items too. So if you're not sure, do I want to wear that armor? Do I want to upgrade and switch or not? You can look at the statistics left alt. You can press it again to look at the items. We need 3 pieces of plasteel microflora fiber. Can't remember how many I had left at the base.
Like
so what we're going to do is just buy the 3.
Stranger.
We're just going to buy the 3 pieces. So 1, 2, 3. Confirm. All right, and that was actually quite expensive, but thankfully we should now have, when we look back at that in our in our research combat weapons here, it will show the plasteel microflora 3 and in brackets 3. So in brackets is how many you have, and the main number to the left is how many you need. So we have the 3 of 3, plant fiber and copper ingot we should easily have. So also we have a contract to deliver here, Holtzman amplifier. Let's go and complete this quest first in case it tells us to make something else at our base. Right, Fabricator, combat, chest piece, craft. Wonderful. I love watching these things form up within the Fabricator while they're being made. It's just a lovely animation. Great job.
I've crossed the
there we go.
Gap off-worlder, and I still haven't shaken my unwanted followers. I'm afraid I must delay our reunion until, well, I fear drastic measures might be required. But fear not, off-worlder. You've come this far alone. I'm impressed. You're a long way from that mewling mauler I dragged from the wreckage of the Proteus. Listen, you'll need a vehicle to cross the sands to the Paranorth and reach the gap, but vehicles require components that aren't created here on Arrakis. Arrakis has a long history, off-worlder, more than you might imagine. Some things, like the Imperial testing stations, contain echoes of the past, but more importantly, they contain stockpiles of components you'll need. Just be careful. Those old ruins are a beacon for all kinds of scum.
Okay, so our next quest is to go to an Imperial testing station, which is an introduction to kind of the main dungeons, as it were, that they have in this game. We have plenty of research things. So we have our new knife, and we're getting close to the point where we are going to build ourselves a sand bike. And be able to traverse the gap. I think we're going to leave this, make a cut here for episode 3. I hope you've enjoyed part 3 and had a good chuckle of my silliness in places, my overexcited, overexuberant entries into battle and so forth. Nevertheless, I hope it's been beneficial. Please do like, subscribe, share, and of course comment. Let me know how you're enjoying the series, whether it's helping or not, if there are things you'd like me to cover. In addition, let me know tips and tricks, things you've learned on your journey as well, if you've got them. I will see you in the next one, folks. Good vibes.